Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fab Speed YouTube channel. As you can see, the truck looks a lot more together, at least the engine, than it did last video, and that is because I received my cylinder head back from Donnie. He's got my threads all fixed up, put a helicoil in the steam port there for me, so we were able to get the head back on, all the steam port stuff in, and this intake manifold is, the lower half anyway, is only just set on for the time being. I have injectors coming this week. I only bought FIC 1000s, and there is a reason for that. Reason being is, as I've said a bunch of times, this is a stock bottom end LY6. So kind of to break in this whole system, we're going to shoot for about, I don't know, 900 to 1,000 at the tire. Obviously, slowly, we're going to probably start at 600 and work up from there because there is so much new on this truck, all the suspension and obviously the engine, EFI management, all that stuff. Everything's brand new, so I don't want to wreck anything really fast. So again, I ordered FIC 1000s. They should be more than enough to make 1,000 at the tire, and that will allow me to kind of break everything in, shake it all down, and while I'm doing that, we'll start building a bottom end that can handle the 1,500 horsepower goal. So for the time being, I do not need, giant fire hose size injectors. Obviously, they're substantially cheaper as FIC 1000s. So they're on the way. We also received the 3D printed stainless turbo drain tube that I had made, and I think it was TPU, I'll have to check, the rubber gasket we made for the bulkhead pass-through for the Holly harness. So those are going to be my two main focuses for this video. And then maybe we'll button a couple other little small things up. But first of all, we're gonna go into this stainless tube, and I'm pretty excited to show you because it turned out pretty good. Okay, so what I like to do here, since I obviously can't 3D print threads, is I like to take that fitting you just saw, which is an NPT to -12 AN stainless adapter. That's really the only stainless part that I've been able to find. I don't know of any -12 weld bungs that are male in stainless, so what I do is put them in the lathe in a -12 cap or whatever size I need, and then use this part off tool to part off the NPT portion of the fitting itself, and what that does is gives me a really nice flat face to weld to, and also allows me to drill the back side of the fitting out if I need to like create a register to set a piece of tube in. So yeah, you can see me struggling here much like every other day, but anyway, I do eventually get it parted off, and then I'm gonna give it a good wipe down with some acetone. Both parts, especially the 3D printed tube, because nobody knows where it, has been or what it's been sitting in. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this stainless tube and fitting in the drill press vise here, and just get a good couple tacks on it, make sure it's nice and square. I'm going to set up to get it back purged and welded. So, being that this tube is 3/16 stainless, I'm using a 3/16 fill rod. The fitting is actually 304, I believe, but I could be wrong. It might be 3/16 as well. I can't remember. Okay, so I just looked. It is 3/16. So naturally, I would be using 3/16 filler rod here, and anything I've said prior should be absolutely ignored. I'm just going around this maybe, I think, 8 or 10 dabs at a time until basically wherever my hand is comfortable moving, keeping a uniform weld all the way around and not allowing it to start walking on me. So So you can see I just used a piece of steel wool to cover the end, because obviously that fitting's going to get quite hot, and the heat tape and or a plug of some kind is probably going to melt there. So the nice double-aught stainless steel wool works really well to keep a bit of back pressure for the argon there. Once that's done, the next step is to remove the turbo bracket. So the reason I'm doing this is because it's obviously powder coated. We had it powder coated for Motorama, even though, actually, to be honest, back then the plan was not to weld anything to it. It is fitted for a -12 ORB fitting in the bottom, so this is kind of a revision to my earlier plan. But anyway, I'm going to pull this off and sand the powder coat off of it so that I'm able to get a nice clean weld of the new stainless turbo drain. Once that's done, I'm going to reinstall the bracket again and hold the stainless turbo drain piece up, get a nice crisp mark on it so that I know how to clock it properly, and then I'm going to remove that bracket again and get that stainless tube tacked into place. And I'm going to get it tacked in. You can see my creative ground usage there. We'll install this with the tube tacked in just to make sure that I've got my clearances still good. Even though I did put a mark there, I like to double check, and it doesn't take very long to do so, so it saves you shooting yourself in the foot. And yeah, so we're gonna take that off again and get it. I knocked the tacks off. Ha. So we'll get this prepped, tidied up, cleaned up, and get it back purged. I like to do a nice cycle through to just make sure, put a couple more tacks on here just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere, and then we're going to weld it out completely. I did wind up burning the existing powder coat a little bit, but weld turned out beautifully. This is going to wind up getting powder coated again anyway, so it's really not that big a deal. Quite happy with how that welded out, so we're going to reinstall it back in the truck so I can make the actual drain hose itself. So it is all -12. The stainless portion was fabricated with the same ID as a -12 hose. So I did make it a little thicker wall just because I wasn't really expecting, or wasn't sure what to expect, because it's 3D printed stainless steel and this is the first piece I've made. So next go around I could definitely make the wall thickness a little smaller, but overall I'm quite happy with it. It fits excellently. Everything's got really nice, good clearance. We're not going to have any heat issues with this from the crossover. And yeah, it's just a really well-fitting piece that's going to give us lots of flow for a turbo drain, and then we'll be able to get that hose in there. Okay guys, so that is going to be the end of the majority of this video. I filmed a couple hours probably, and I think we got 8 minutes out of it, so awesome. I am going to show you, however, I got that gasket installed and it turned out really good, so bear with me here for a sec. Look at how good that looks. That looks like a factory type thing if GM used 65 bolts to hold something in, so ignore the piss poor Holly taping, but that whole harness is going to get rebuilt. Like I mentioned before, I got to remove all this drive-by cable stuff out of this harness. What else we got? We've got injectors in here. These are the FIC 1000s I mentioned. So I've got the injectors and the sub harnesses in. And I also made the -8 crossover line here for the regulator to connect the two fuel lines. And next video, I've got a fun little surprise that I dreamed up for this return. We're going to run a -8 stainless hard line through the center here, down in the valley under the steam port. So we're going to do, hopefully the next video will have some pieces that I drew up and 3D printed and ordered. But if not, for sure, we're going to do a vacuum line off of the back of the manifold like I did on my old setup. And that's going to be our main vacuum for our regulator, our blow-off valves, and then the vacuum source for the wastegates as well. So I need to sort out how to get that through all of this mess. And also I'd like to tie in the CO2 line maybe on this side, just so that it, I don't know, kind of looks like it mirrored out or whatever. But that will be the next video. Yeah, I'm also going to finish the steam port line from here. I've got a little dash 4 weld bung we're going to put somewhere on the water pump that looks kind of nice. I'm generally extremely against modifying water pumps, but I wanted to try something different. You guys have seen this forever, so I figure why not? If it's going to fail, I'd rather it fail on me than any of our clients. So yeah, this thing needs a good blow off too. So yeah, appreciate you watching, and let me know what you think of the voiceover stuff. First time I've done it. I think I could do a little bit better because it sounds like I'm swallowing the mic sometimes, but it is what it is. This is a fabricator trying to make YouTube videos, not a YouTuber trying to make fabrication videos. So I'd rather be better at the fabricating stuff, and hope you guys tag along long enough. So I'm going to get this posted, and we will see you in the next one.